Hi, I'm Jenna, also known as RetroLemon, and this is episode 139. A big hello and welcome to all new viewers, and a big hello and thank you to all returning viewers, as always. So glad that you're coming back, and if you're new, awesome. I hope you keep coming back. Real quick, go through knit along. We are doing our striped sweater knit along. Today is the 8th, so you still have like 3 weeks to go. Plenty of time to get those finished and even start another one, or start one if you haven't started one at all. So I feel like the lighting in here isn't great. It's a little later than I normally record. My Wednesdays have been so crazy lately. It seems like my whole, weeks in general have been crazy. So the rules of the knit along. It has to be a sweater. It has to have stripes. Stripes that consist of switching the yarn colors, not a self-striping yarn. You can use a self-striping yarn, you just gotta use another one with it. Any pattern, any yarn, if the pattern isn't a striped sweater to begin with and you add stripes, totally counts. Easy. So you have till October 31st, and we have two wonderful prizes: a skein of Volmiza 100% Merino Superwash in the Bussy colorway, donated by a viewer, and a skein of Daisy Knits, the Vine Base in the Tango color, donated by the lovely Jennifer of Daisy Knits. Hey. Prizes are so fun. Let's set these here. Trying to think. No ideas yet for like a November or November-December knit along. Still kind of up in the air. Anyone has a suggestion, I'm always open for that. Other than that, I do have finished objects. Objects that are plural. Real quick, I wanted to show you, I did not finish this week. I finished it last week and had showed you. But I blocked it. It wasn't blocked, and it is so much prettier all blocked. So that is a Humility and Grace cowl out of Daisy Knits. And it is a merino cashmere nylon base, and it didn't have a name, or I don't think it had a color either. I keep meaning to contact her about that, but I've been so busy, I really have not had a whole lot of time online. I usually get on for like a hot minute and try to check things and respond when I can. Other finished objects. I finished the L'Envelope for the LYS owner. It is still slightly damp, so I really don't want to put it on and kind of disrupt the shape. So I'm gonna have to do something to try to get it to dry. That's the one thing that stinks. I get so used to it being warm and sunny here, and then we get a really cool few days, and it's only gonna start getting colder. And it takes everything forever to dry, even putting it out in the sun. I put this out in the sun for a little bit, and it's so cool and breezy out, it does not want to dry. And then I also did a Milo, which is like a little sweater vest for babies. So this is a shop sample because we got in this new yarn. Well, it's new to us. It's Cascade Quattro Superwash. So it's kind of like a marled yarn. It's like a dark blue, an aqua, turquoise, and a lime green that's kind of all twisted together. So you can see it definitely gives it, you know, an interesting look. There's cables right here, and I did the owl pattern, of course. It's such a fast knit. Like 2 days, boom, it was done. If I would have started it earlier in the day, probably could have got it done in one. It was a one skein project. I did have a little bit left over. I knit the newborn size, and I don't swatch. I'm like, it's a shop sample, and it's a baby sweater. Not real worried about sizing. I have not knit for a while with Cascade Superwash. I forget how nice it is. It is so nice and soft. So let's see. Let's see the cables. So I think the color was like Marina or something like that. I don't have the ball band handy. It's dry. I keep feeling like if it's damp, because I just like had a big old blocking party, right? I did the cowl, I did the envelope, poncho thing and the little baby vest. So really excited. I love quick little projects like that, and I love this yarn. And then one more finished object. I'm so excited about this, and I'm calling it done. There's a few ends to weave in, just a few. And I never cut my ends before I block it. I always wait till after. This sweater is done. That's right. It needs buttons, but I have not found buttons that I like for it yet. So here is one sleeve, all done. And here is two sleeves, all done. Because before I started the sleeves, I went ahead and went and did the neckband and all the little tedious kind of stuff that you go back and do. I did that ahead of time. That way when I was done with the sleeves, I was just done. So I do have stitch markers on the little placket of where the buttons are going to go. Because I went ahead and the rows that I had to make the buttonholes, I put a stitch marker on the opposite side so I didn't have to go and count and try to figure out spacing and all that. So it is done. It is so done. I'm so excited. So I just got to find buttons. Because if I find something that's the right size, they're too feminine or too cheap looking or not the right color. And he wants something that just kind of blends in, right? Like he doesn't want like statement buttons or, you know, something that really pops. That's totally not what he wants. So it is done. I really just have to weave in the ends for the cuffs and like the underarm area where I joined the yarn for the sleeves. And that's it. All the other ends I think I've already, well, no, I guess the collar I didn't. I was going to say all the other ends I've woven in. I did use the magic knot. I knit this out of Ella Rae Superwash Heathers in the charcoal colorway. I think there's only two grays. There's a really light heathered gray and a darker heathered gray, and this is the darker. I had knit myself a sweater out of this. Used the magic knot. I've had no problems. I love wearing it. It's very warm, very comfortable. So that is that. I'm comparing. I'm like, Cascade Superwash, Ella Rae Superwash. Now before I would have said they were quite comparable, but I think Cascade's got a little bit of softness on it. Just a wee bit. But it's done. It's done. I'm so excited. It's done. I feel like I've been working on it forever. I stayed up till 1:30 last night or into the morning to finish it because I was so determined to get it done. Like I was like, oh, if I get it done or not. And then I was like, no, I'm too close to being done. All I had left was the cuff, and I'm like, no, we're finishing this tonight. Then one work in progress, and I really didn't work on it. I had gotten it out, and I had kind of thought about it, and I was like, But it's what I hope to finish next. Because right now, I mean, I have a few things in hibernation. Don't let me fool you. But things that are actively on the needles, and one of those is my beekeeper's quilt, which I really just need to call that done. Because I don't think there's any way I am ever going to knit enough Hexie Puffs. Like, that train has sailed. Or, that train's left the station. Wrong analogy. It should have been that ship has sailed. But, anyways. It is the Emerald by Heidi Kermeyer, I believe. Or Isabel Cream. No, Heidi Kermeyer. Anyway, so it is a little short sleeve sweater. You gotta go and pick back up stitches for the placket. So I will have to do that. And you also, I think, pick up for the sleeves. So I feel like there's like all kinds of stuff I have to stitch up or pick up. So there's this detail that kind of looks like smocking that goes across the back. Kind of probably about the shoulder blade area, maybe a little above the shoulder blades. And it has the same kind of little smocking right below the collarbone. So really pretty. I really love this yarn. It is Fiber Spate Vivacious DK in the Deep Forest color. I am alternating skeins because it is a hand dyed and it definitely needed it. Absolutely. Because I had 4 skeins and there were 2 that were definitely kind of brighter than the other ones and 2 that were kind of darker, had a little bit more of the brown tones in it, because it is kind of like teals, greens, and browns. So I alternated one of the bright ones and one of the dark ones. You don't want to do both brights and then both darks together. That kind of defeats the purpose. So it's kind of funny because this is a darker skein and this is a lighter skein. I don't know that the camera will really pick up much of a difference. But I'm pulling from the outside, which is something new I've started doing. I don't know why. I don't necessarily like to pull from the outside. The only good thing is when you get down, the ball's not collapsing in on itself, and then I would always have to rewind that last little bit, right? Because I don't want like this sloppy floppy thing, and I'm like, gotta rewind that last little bit so it's a nice little ball and I can put it away. So what I ended up doing, when I wound them, so that I knew there was 2 dark skeins and 2 light skeins, I had 2 different colored stitch markers. So this one has a light purple stitch marker. I don't know that you'll see it. This one has a dark purple stitch marker. So I knew when it was time to attach the skeins, when I was getting down close to the end, I went ahead and attached the dark to the dark and the light to the light. So there's a little tip if you're doing 2 different skeins and you need to keep track. Because sometimes you gotta like eyeball them, right? Sometimes skeins are so close and it isn't until you get it into some natural light that you really see, oh yeah, these 2 are definitely different and these 2 are definitely the same or whatever. So that's what I did. And I hope to have this done. I'm at the bottom part, and the bottom has a slight like slope in the front and the back that makes it a little longer in the front than the sides. Like, see me using my hands. My mom used to always joke that if she made me sit on my hands that I wouldn't be able to talk. Where was I? Anyway, so yeah, it kind of slopes. So you work the front to make it like rounded, and then you do the same in the back. So like the back isn't longer than the front and back are longer than the sides. I don't know. I was kind of like, maybe I won't do that. But then I'm like, maybe I should just follow the pattern. We'll see. But I want to have this done for next week, if possible. Because I've just been so sidetracked, and I really wanted to get my husband's sweater done. But we are having a customer appreciation day Friday at the knit shop, and so I really wanted to get the owner's envelope done, because I know it's going to be a shop sample, but I made it to fit her because I know she really wants to wear it. So I wanted to make sure that it was done and she could wear it Friday. Yay! And that's it for works in progress. So I've been trying to organize and clean. I know I've talked about this many times, and I'm not just trying to organize and clean just the yarn or the house. It's like everything. And I take days off. There's days where I don't even think. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. I don't even think about cleaning or organizing something. I'm totally sidetracked or lazy. But last night and today, I started late last night, and today I finished it. So I've been organizing all of my patterns, because over the years, you know, you're really like, ooh, free pattern. Because everybody starts that way. Don't let anybody fool you. You're like, ooh, free pattern. I like that. I'll print it off. Ooh, free pattern. Oh, it's only free for today. I gotta print it off. So, or, hey, I bought all these patterns. Sometimes, ooh, new patterns, like shiny new toy. Buy it, print it off, and you never knit it. So I had tons of patterns. Tons and tons of patterns. And when people used to do the random active pattern, you'd get wrapped. R-A-P, like apostrophe D, wrapped. So random active pattern. I ended up with all kinds of wonderful patterns. And, you know, there's just not time to knit them all. So I rounded them up, and I went and put them in plastic sleeves. I can show you this. I actually have a binder just for my patterns, so I have a hard copy. So like I have owl puffs, and they're all in sleeves. And I put the whole pattern in one sleeve because I started off putting like 2 pages per sleeve, so you could like flip through it like a book, like every pattern. I cannot tell you how fast the binders were filling up, because that takes up so much more space to use all of those page protectors. So to save on page protectors, because I mean they're not like ridiculously cheap, even though they should be. So to save on space and page protectors, I just take a whole pattern and put it in one sleeve. Good enough. If there's for some reason I need to actually have each couple, like, I was putting them like back to back, right? So if I needed to do that, I have extras. I could still do that if I need it while I'm working with it. That's fine. So I divided them up into binders. I have 11 binders. So like I have one for my patterns. I have one for shawls. I have one for sweaters. Now one of them is hats, scarves, cowls, and mittens. Kind of like winter wear type stuff. I have one that's dishcloths, home decor items like pillows, Christmas ornaments, and then there's like a category for accessories, which like I have some, like I had gotten summer ones like a bracelet, and there's a headband I think for a club that I was in. It's because there weren't enough for one binder. Like to have a half a dozen patterns in one binder seemed really wasteful to me, especially when you have to go buy all those extra binders. So, you know, some of them I did consolidate. Socks and slippers go in the same binder. Sweaters and ponchos go in the same binder. Stuff like that. But what I also have, besides individual binders for categories, I call it my cube binder. And this I've had a long time. And I put stickers on it. It's so funny because when I get a package from Ravelry, I like gently peel the sticker off and put it on my binder. I don't have a ton, but I have some. Like I have my Loopy U binder, or sticker on my binder. And the other ones are the binders with like the pocket in the front, because I plan in the side, because I plan on putting labels in it. But this I call my queue binder. So if it's in my queue, especially if I have bought yarn for it, it goes in this binder. I don't think this goes away. No. So like I have my harvest in here. It gives off just dimensions. I think this is the same information you can get on the pattern page, so I'm not giving anything away. So if I have the yarn for it and it's in my queue, or if it's just in my queue, I know it goes in here. Now I try to be conscientious about when I delete something from my queue to take the pattern out and put it in a regular binder. It doesn't always work that way. But I've had so many patterns just piled up all over the place, on my desk, here at my little table, by my knitting chair in the other room, everywhere. So they're all gathered up, and they're all binded up. So I needed 11. I still cannot get over that number. And they're all different colors. Like I have 3 different green ones. They're 3 different shades of green. I didn't get them all at once. I've been collecting binders like 2 or 3 every year for the past few years. I think I only bought 2 this year. I got an aqua and a teal. So yeah, so I'm feeling better about that. I feel more organized. I can see a lot of them like, oh yeah, there was a stack of patterns I printed off. I really wanted to knit that. Let's do that. You know, and some stuff I'm like, why did I print this off? What was I thinking? Some had missing pages, so I had to go back, pull them up in my library, print off that missing page. Where it went, I'll never know. I had like random pages, like here or there, that I can't figure out what pattern they went to. I have no idea. I would look through things, nothing matched it, so I just pitched them. There were just a few. I wasn't being real. Well, I recycled them, put them in the recycling. So that's kind of what I've been up to, because I've been trying to get all my knitting stuff organized. It's crazy. Seriously. Crazy. I do have some Yarny goodness. It is all stuff for samples and whatnot. So this is what it looks like in the ball. My yarn from that Milo. I kind of like it better in the ball than I like it knitted up. I was thinking like, ooh, maybe I'll get a sweater quantity of this for me, because it's all my colors. Teals, blues, and greens. But I don't know. You can see. In the ball, knit it up. I don't know what it is. I don't know, it's not floating my boat. Love it in the ball. It's okay and knit it up. I mean, it's not ugly. I think it's super cute for a baby item. I think it's too much for an adult garment. And I think it's just because there's so many different colors in the one. Because I also have to make a baby girl Milo. And this is purple. And it's just 4 different shades of purple. And I don't think this will be so distracting. But, oh, it's so sorry. I love Cascade Superwash. It's a 220 Superwash Quattro. I think I keep forgetting the 220. Whoop! Dropped it. 220 Superwash Quattro. And this is a purple, I don't think it's the amethyst. Color number 1954. So, super fun. I wish I could talk the shop owner into carrying Cascade 220 Superwash. I'd love it, love it, love it. People ask for it. But she carries the Ella Ray, and I understand they're conflicting. I get it. I like Cascade. I also got some online Super Sock Neptune color. So color number 174. It is 100 grams, and she wants a sock head hat out of this. I'm going to try to get 2. When I made one for myself, I used half a skein. Now, I made mine 2 inches shorter than the pattern called for. And I talked to her about that, and she said that's fine. So, I'm going to try to get 2 out of this so she can have one. Because she said, oh, this will match my coat. And I'm thinking, I can get 2 out of it. What else was I going to say? Oh, it's really nice, really soft. There's a color at the shop, and it's like kind of like a magenta, an orange, and a raspberry, and it is so pretty, and it's so not my colors. And it has the orange in there that I love. But I'm like, that might need to be socks. Someday that might have to come home with me. So this will be a sock head hat. And then I have some Ella Ray Classic Superwash Heather in the color number, where is it? 122. I don't know what the actual name of the color is. Anyways, we had a gentleman come in, and he wants wool, kind of like dickies, kind of like a cowl dickie. He wants it to come down on his chest. He's a farmer, and he wants something to keep him warm while he's working outside. So, that is what I'm making with this. This will be interesting. I think it'll be quick. It does call for 2 skeins of this, though. Like, holy cannoli. I really hope it only uses 1.5 or 1 1/4. I'm just like, that's a lot of yardage. That's 440 yards. The pattern says, 2 skeins. Maybe you get to hold it double. I gotta read the pattern. The pattern was just, like, handed to me, and I'm like, okay. But I love knitting samples. I know someone was like, you're knitting so many things for the shop, and I'm like, I know, I love it. It is so much fun. It's so much fun to try yarns that I might not have bought. It's fun to try the new yarns, even though I can't afford to buy them yet. I get to play with them. I love it. So, there will be more shop samples in my future. And that's all I have for the knitting today. That's it. So, if you leave me now, I will see you next week, because we are moving into a slice of life. Really quick, I need to go through mugs. I know, some people are like, mugs. I don't care. My show. The one I talked about last week that I forgot to have sitting here at the table to show you was Orlando. It's super cute. And I love that there is a Shamu on the back. Because I know they have a SeaWorld there. We used to have a SeaWorld in Ohio when I was a kid, and it closed. And it was always a fun time. I know it's a killer whale, but it looks like Shamu, and I love that it's a green Shamu. So a lady who comes and visits the knit shop brought this in. One for me, one for the shop owner, and our friend. And then Jen, who is Beer Girl 21 on Ravelry, but she's Jen Miss on Instagram. Unless if people have like the same avatar, I don't always put 2 and 2 together because there's so many people. So I couldn't find her on Instagram because there was a Beer Girl 21, but it was not her. So, but this one is beautiful. I love this one as well. It is Portland, and I love that it has roses on it. Portland is the city of roses. It's a bridge. They like to put bridges on these. And then she also sent candy, which is gone, and I shared it. I shared it with my daughter. We had a girls' day, so we had some chocolate, and she sent these pumpkin truffles. It's like this pumpkin ganache covered in chocolate and looked like little pumpkins. It was amazing. So good. And then this is really cool. She sent a card with a very nice note in it. And on the front of the card, that is her LYS. And it's this beautiful kind of little Victorianish looking home. And I'm like, there's roses, of course. I'm like, oh, I would so love to visit this knit shop because it looks so quaint and pretty. And the name of the shop is Soft Horizons Fiber. And then she also sent a really awesome, it's a little ruler and a needle gauge. That'll come in super duper handy. I love things like that. So thank you so much, Jen. It was such a fun package to open, and I really, really appreciate the time and you know, you sending things. And I mean, you totally didn't need to do that, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. And then a friend of mine at the OIS went to Niagara Falls on a bus trip for the day. And, well, she went to Canada. I think they were like, I don't know if they went to the falls or they were close to Niagara Falls or whatever. But she brought me back a Niagara Falls mug, which is so cool. And I love that it has a rainbow. Even if it doesn't, it's not rainbow colors. It's a gray and some shades of blue. But I love that. It has a rainbow. I love rainbows. So yeah, Niagara Falls. So it's only my second Canada mug. So I have a Calgary, which I was using this morning, and a Niagara Falls. And she said she asked about actual Canada mugs, and they didn't have any. They were out. So she's like, I feel so bad. I really wanted to get you a Canada. I'm like, that's okay. You didn't have to get me one at all. I appreciate it. So sometime I'll get a Canada, I'm sure, somewhere. I keep telling my husband we need to go to Canada. I've never been there. The only thing that separates me and Canada is a lake. It just stinks now you have to have a passport. I mean, I get it's security, and I can appreciate that, but, like, it's our neighbors. Someday. But other than that, my week's been really busy. Kind of been lost in my own head. There's just, I don't know, family drama going on and friend drama going on. I'm sick of drama. I don't want drama. I need one of those shirts that says, save the drama for your mama. That's it. The only drama I even want to deal with is my kids' drama. And even then, it's questionable, right? You're just like, oh God, make it stop. You know, Monday I had like a rough day. Monday I didn't want to do anything. I really didn't want to get out of bed, so I really kind of didn't. My husband was at work, the kids were at school, and I'm like, you know what, I can knit and read and eat popcorn in bed, and that's what I did. I loved it. And I read this book called Little Bee, because I know people question on it, and I know it's kind of a downer. I was down to the last chapter. And you're going along, and you're just thinking it's going to go one way. It's got to go this one way, and it doesn't, and it totally ticked me off, and I hated it, and I wish I never would have read it, because it was a waste of my time. So that's how I felt about it. I obviously am not, my opinion is not the general opinion, because it got good reviews, and some people loved it, and I did not like it. I need a good book. I need a really good book. I don't want sleazy, cheesy, stupid books. I don't. I just want something with a good story, you know, interesting, that at least has a decent ending. I'm not saying it has to be all warm and fuzzy at the end, but at least something decent. So I read all these books that get recommended, or these great books, and then I read them and I'm like, really, this kind of sucked. I can't believe it was like this big of a hit. And I don't know. I just want something good. Something really good. I haven't read anything like seriously good in a long time. But that's just my little rant. I love to read, and it's just so disappointed when you get so emotionally like kind of involved in the story and it kind of goes at the end. knows? So, this week, still going to try to keep organized, try to keep busy. I have not heard anything about the job yet. I know I was told that it would be a couple weeks. So as of tomorrow, it will have been 2 weeks since I took the test. So I'm hoping within the next week I'll hear something. Fingers crossed. Like I said, I was told it would take probably 2 to 3 weeks for them to call me and to schedule the interview. So that's what I'm waiting on, to get the interview. So I took the test, passed it, got the email that I passed it, and that's it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, I think I'm getting anxious now, right? Like I knew before, okay, it's going to be a couple weeks. Now it's been a couple weeks. Like, I just want the interview. Because I think I'll do good at the interview. I do good face-to-face. So, I think. Hope. Other than that, really not a ton of stuff. It's fall. It's beautiful. We've tried to enjoy as much outside time as we can. It is getting cold. We'll have to be all stuck inside. But that just means there's more knitting time. So that's it for me this week. I am Jenna, also known as RetroLemon. I am RetroLemon on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Fitbit, and Weight Watchers. And until next week, I will see you then. Bye.